Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 34, Fit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. We are back here this week, ready to cover the NFL draft as well as some news out of the NHL. Lots going on here in the playoffs, NBA playoffs as well. MLB season just keeps heating up, getting better and better each day, as well as a little bit of golf talk here this week. I got all my co-hosts here with me, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace, why don't we start it off with you here this week? What do you got?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of different things happening in the sports world this week. We got the NHL and NBA playoffs in full swing. They've been nice to us so far. The MLB is fully underway, and I've been enjoying that big time. Watching that day baseball always gets me going. Then, you guys dabbled some golf too. Huff gave me an almost winner on a long shot last week, so that would have been pretty cool. But we ended up seeing a nice little playoff format, so that was awesome too. But ready to get rolling on a new week here and talk some playoffs.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff from you, Ace. Huff, let's send it over to you. What do you got here for us this week heading into the draft?
Yeah, I think I say this many times a year. This is one of my favorite times of the year, I should say, with especially in the first round of the NHL and NBA playoffs when there's 3 to 4 games a night in both leagues. I think we get 3 NBA tonight. I think 3 NHL, so 6 great games all on must-see TV. Then you get the NFL draft tomorrow night. Or tonight, whenever you're listening to this, on Thursday for the first round throughout the weekend. This is a great time of year. Love seeing all the draft predictions, mock drafts, but we're getting down to the nitty gritty with the draft just around 24 hours away. So I'm always excited for the NFL draft. One of my favorite events of the year.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff there. Mackie, let's finish it off with you here before we jump into this week's episode. What do you got for us?
Yeah, they broke it down pretty good. Obviously, NHL, NBA playoffs, full swing. No dog in the NHL fight, but we've had a pretty good start to the first round. Other than that, MLB is really good. The Mets are cooking right now, best record in the league. Got to be happy where they're sitting right now.
It's almost better without a dog in the race, huh? You get to just enjoy the playoffs.
It's definitely not better without a dog in the race.
Yeah, different feeling. Not better, obviously. Like, we're so used to being there, but for the first time.
From a gambling perspective, yes, because none of us are sending biased picks every night of their team whenever their team plays.
Yeah, Mackie still is with the Knicks, but what are you going to do?
1-1.
No, but it's a different type of atmosphere, especially with our 3 teams not making it in the hockey world, us 3 being hockey guys. Brings you a different appreciation for what's going on. Get to watch it from an unbiased perspective. Keep the blood pressure down too. That's probably the biggest thing. Unless you're me taking Vegas -1.5, them scoring with 0.1 to cover it. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it's just a whole different ball game when you're watching those playoffs without your team in the mix.
That's you guys are learning what it's like for me in the NBA, just not even having
the
a team
MLB
all season.
I thought you were going to say the MLB.
Oh, that too.
That
I just don't, that too. I basically don't have a horse in the race. So
yeah, two sport city you got up there, you Yinzers. But in the NBA world, that's why you just follow around LeBron wherever he goes and hope that he brings you another title, which he almost always does.
I root more for players in the NBA than a team.
Huff, if you ever want to join the Celtics bandwagon, they're going back to back now. It'll be a good time.
I told you, I have nothing wrong with the Celtics. It's just like the LeBron's on the Lakers. Believe me, I'd love to see Lakers Celtics. I think that would be an awesome
everybody
final.
would. Yeah, everybody would. But yeah, I mean, hey, you could take LeBron. He's probably not going to win it. The Celtics probably will. But hey, I mean, it's good to root for the underdog sometimes.
I want to see Cleveland versus Lakers too. Get LeBron versus Cleveland.
Oh my God,
that's another cool
team's
one.
Still in the mix. You don't want to see the Knicks.
The Knicks are cooked.
No,
They're not going to get past Detroit.
Who said it?
Really?
You didn't. You never said that.
Oh, I've been cooking that Pistons all year. Pistons in 6. It's in the comments. Go check out our socials while you're at it. Oh, I've been cooking that.
Well, regardless, they're gonna run into Boston and probably lose in 4 or 5. So
I mean, yeah.
I think any of those top 3 teams in the East against the Lakers would make a great series.
Yeah,
I mean, they'd all be here. LeBron against his
Lakers are not getting out of the West. There's no way.
Yeah, I'd beg to differ. They will.
Let's get into this NBA talk. I mean, it's heating up. I know we got some other stuff on, but let's see what we're getting into here.
All right, yeah, we can jump into the NBA first here. Start out with our power rankings here before we jump into.
Can we get number 5, the Warriors, number 4, the New York Knicks, number 3, the Cleveland Cavaliers, number 2, the Boston Celtics, and number 1, they've been all season, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Top 3 has not moved in probably 2 months, so we're looking at the Knicks at 4 and the Warriors at 5. I think you can put a lot of teams in those situations, but what do you guys think here?
Yeah, I know Huff is itching to get Nembhard and those Pacers into that 4 spot after their dominant wins.
They're making a case over there.
That's a great team they built up over the years, though, huh? I mean, you brought
They're
in
just fun to
however, you
watch. I
brought
like
in
Siakam
Siakam.
more than anyone on that team.
Yeah, me too. Spicy P. And those are all through trade, too. I mean, you don't see a lot of teams build their future through the trade. Yeah, teams build these big threes, and they build these new look old veteran teams. But bring in young pieces to create your core and then build up depth around it. I mean, that team's really putting it together.
I know they're just taking care of business at home. I wouldn't call that series cooked just yet. But looking forward, say Indiana does beat the Bucks, and obviously saying Cleveland wins that series as well. Do you think that they can give them a run for their money?
Yeah,
I think so too. I think
They
that
did
would
it. They
be a
just
good
did it
series.
last
I think it
year
would take.
against a
I think it
very
would take at
similar
least
Knicks
6
team.
games for Cleveland.
A very injured Knicks team too, and I also think Cleveland's better than the Knicks were last year. So it's not the best comparison, but Cleveland plays even down the stretch. They played a lot of really close games. They lost a tough one to Indiana late in the season as well. That team's good. They play really good basketball, especially on their home court. I could definitely see a good series.
That Donovan Mitchell guy, I mean, will he ever show up in the playoffs and take his team deep on a run? He couldn't do it in the West. I don't think he can do it in the East. He's got
Not
the
that he
table
didn't
set.
show up though. He just didn't really have the team to.
He's got the
do
table
it.
set for him here, so there's no excuses this time.
Yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't say he didn't show up in the playoffs. He dropped a 56-point game in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he just could never get over the hump is my point. And I know the individual stat performances, but those wins are all that's mattered. That's all that you remembered for. And the fact that he was dealt, you don't see guys that good being dealt too often. So him coming over
Who are
the
you
East.
talking
this
about?
is
I missed the name.
Spider.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he's got a ton of help, though. It's not like he's a one-man show. He has way more help than he's ever had in his career, too.
Yeah.
That Cavs team's super deep. But they haven't had that success since LeBron was there. I wonder if they can do it with a whole different mindset now.
All righty, let's go through some of these NBA playoff series here after this first weekend. Starting out, let's talk about some of these games or these matches here tonight. Celtics over Magic, 1-0 for the Celtics here, but they play tonight. Any words on that? We don't really need to go too in depth.
Are they sweeping them, or is it a gentleman's sweep? I think that's the question.
I liked Mackey's play on the Magic plus 11.
No
I
Tatum
think
tonight,
tonight
I
will be
think.
closer than obviously the last game was. Celtics kind of controlled that. They're unstoppable from 3, it looks like.
They have been all year. I think they put up
Yeah.
the most in a season this year.
Yeah,
they-
that's just their
they
game
did, yeah.
plan.
And the
I
thing
don't know,
is-
they're very good. They're very deep. Obviously, we know that they're the defending champs for a reason. I think this 4 or 5 games, they'll probably win again tonight, but I think it'll be closer than the last game.
Yeah, I think they did this last year on their run to the finals. Didn't they drop like one game at home? Everyone's like, "Whoa!" But it's
I
like,
think they lost 2 games all playoffs last year until the NBA Finals
yeah, I think they might have been at home too, which is kind
because
of
they
weird.
swept the Pacers. Who
They
did they play in
dropped-
the second round? Was it the Knicks?
No,
their
they
Knicks
didn't.
lost to
Playing
the
last
Pacers.
year.
Yeah, they ended up
Cavs, they won in 5. That was the second round. And then whoever they got in the first round, I think they might have slipped up a game.
Yeah, whoever it was, so it was basically a first round bye
Heat,
getting
wasn't
those
it Heat?
play-in teams. Was it the Heat or was it the Hawks?
They always give you guys problems, though, but problems, and you won in 5.
Yeah, Spoelstra. I mean, what are you gonna do? But I mean, with tonight, with Tatum being out too, like they have the luxury of being able to rest guys because
Yeah.
they're so deep. They have the 6th man of the year. Peyton Pritchard took home that award this year, and him getting more minutes is never a bad thing. He could go to another team, get paid a boatload of money, and be an impact player, and he is with the Celtics too. So guys like Derek White getting more shots, one of the most underrated starters in the NBA too. I mean,
It's funny because Tatum's sitting out tonight, but you know damn well he could play this game. They're just like, you don't need to. Why risk it?
yeah, not even a little bit. I'm surprised they're not load managing Jaylen Brown a bit more with his knee problems they had coming into the playoffs. Kristaps Porzingis too, but even guys like Sam Hauser, Al Horford still there. You got Drew Holiday, Derek White. The list goes on and on.
Porzingis is so fun to watch when he's actually healthy. Like I feel like
Yeah, the
20%
unicorn.
of his NBA career he's been healthy, and this is probably the healthiest he's ever looked at a playoff run. And I think that's part of why the Celtics are going to be.
Probably because he
right
doesn't have
back
to
where
be
they
so
were
leaned
last year.
upon, right?
What'd you say?
Probably because he doesn't have to be so leaned upon like in the past where he was the
Yeah.
only guy.
Even in Dallas, when it was him and Luka, like he wasn't that healthy then, but
And
like he
Brunson.
was second option. I mean, yeah, Brunson wasn't, Brunson at that time, but I'd say even the other teams he was on, Mackey's Knicks, like back in the day, that wasn't the best
Yes.
roster built
The
around
Knicks
him.
team
That's kind of
sucked.
when the injuries started. But him as a third option on that Celtics team as the big man is I think, and then you get Derek White at the 4 or as your fourth option, not
yeah.
at the 4, but yeah, I think that's why they'll be right back where they were last year.
Yeah, look at that 3 ball stay electric. That's why I'm wary of that under 2 tonight. Just, yeah, no, Tatum's not playing, but they just put up big buckets. Then look out for Banchero, too. I mean, regardless of how
He's
his
so
team
good.
fares, he puts up so many points every night. He's just one of the best players in the league. Just needs a little bit more help around them. It's such a young squad
I
from
think game
Orlando.
one, other than Wagner and Banchero, their third leading scorer had 7 points. So if you're
Yeah.
the Magic, that's not the recipe to beat the Celtics.
No, and I don't think they just have enough dogs in the fight to be able to do it. They'll get there, but it was a shout out to them for getting through that play-in tournament. I mean, they
I was
handled
gonna
their
say they
business.
need another Cole Anthony game like they had in the play-in tournament if they want to beat the Celtics one of these games.
Yeah, and that's a skip, hop, and a throw from the regular that you get from them. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see them do that enough times to be able to take the series or make it interesting. But I've got the Celtics in 4 here. I think they handle business, stand on business. There's too good, not too, like I said, too many other options. But we'll see as the series progresses, and then maybe by the time we talk to you guys next week, we might be waiting for round 2.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff there out of that round or that series. Let's jump over this next one here. Heat and Cavs. Cavs leading the series just 1-0 here. What are you guys thinking about this series here? Another game for them tonight.
Yeah, I think Cavs handle
2-0.
business tonight. I took a -12. I think that's on the card that we posted. So Cleveland, I think they handle business. They look very good. Obviously, like we just gassed up the Celtics. Cavs have been in that spot all year, the number 1 seed in the East. The Heat just are not a good team. Under 500, make the play in, get it, win the play-in tournament as I believe the 10 seed. You get in, you get the 8 seed. I just don't think this is going to be much of a series. I'll take the Cavs in this one in a sweep as well.
I think it's my Heat PTSD that you're talking about, Hop. You mentioned it earlier. They gave the Celtics some fits years ago, and I still see the same coach behind the bench, and I'm like, or on the sidelines, and I'm like, oh God, I mean, can they do this again? But they're not going to. The Cavs have been there. They've done that. I bet you the Heat grab one here. I'm saying a gentleman's sweep. But shout out to them for getting through the play-in too. They won back-to-back games. One of them a tough game too. I think they went on a nice heater at the end of the year. They had that Jimmy Butler drama, and they played through it, and they ended up forcing a playoff bid. So kudos to them. But this Cavaliers team, led by Mitchell, Mobley, the names they got on that roster, just so deep, and they don't have the dogs in the fight, similar to the Magic. These playing teams can't keep up with the big dogs. 4, maybe 5. I've got the Cavs here to win it easily. Mac, you see anything differently here?
No, it's in 4, and you're talking about that PTSD from Miami, but the main reason for that PTSD is over in San Francisco right now. So Bam and Tyler Howard can try to do as much as they can, but they're not going to win a game against this team.
You think it goes 4? So you got 4. Hoff, you got 4?
Yeah, I think it's a
I mean,
I
dude,
think
they
there's
were
three-
what?
5.
They were like
I
12
think there's
games.
3 sweeps. Celtics, Cavs, Thunder. I think
They were
those are
like
all sweeps.
they were like 12 games under 500 this year. This whole playing bullshit. I mean, I get it. They got in, but now you're just
Nice little
making
run
shit
at the end, though. Nice little run at the end. In the East, it's easy to get into that play-in tournament,
It's
though.
just
Huh?
ridiculous. Like this team's 12 games under 500, and they're playing in a playoff game right now.
Yeah. Also, shout out to my boy Trey Young, play-in tournament goat. Never really makes much noise in it, but he's always in it. You can count on him being on play-in game day. But yeah, those Hawks are up
Speaking of
too.
the play-in, I don't think I said this last week, or it was just me and Mackie. I can't remember. The first night of those play-ins, I was watching ESPN, and they did like an hour-long segment on the best play-in tournament moments ever.
And it's
acting like one, it's been around for 100 years. It's been around since 2021, and 2, no one remembers the play-in.
it's probably all
Play-in
Memphis,
tournament's
Golden
electric,
State,
though.
It
Like
was
the
all the
Bulls-
Golden State Lakers game, the one
Golden
year
State,
that LeBron
Memphis,
played
Lakers. Yeah,
That was cool, but like I'm just used to seeing the Bulls. You know,
Then they were saying who is the
Hawks.
best play-in tournament player ever. I'm like,
DeMar
dude,
DeRozan.
just
That's my
stop
pick.
with this fucking segment,
it's
please.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, but DeMar DeRozan was always there. Like him and
They
Levine,
all
Levine,
said
however
Trae
you say
Young.
it,
I forget what-
they just switched conferences just so they could lose in the play-in once again. Different time slot.
All right, next series.
I like
To
the
this
play-in though.
East.
Last point, I do like the play-in. It's actually entertaining.
All right, next series here, Warriors and Rockets. Warriors leading the series 1-0 here. They also have a game tonight late, 9:30 p.m. here on Wednesday as a recording. What are you guys thinking about this series?
I'm shocked, Mac. You took the Rockets in game 1.
I think they even.
You
up
know
the
what?
series
I'm
tonight.
kind of upset with myself too. Obviously, not just because they lost, but how much I've been gassing up this Warriors team. It looked like a really good spot for the Rockets. Everyone was on the Warriors. I still had the Warriors winning this series, but the Rockets are going to win some games. They won 55 games this
I
year.
agree.
You're going to win some home games in this 7-game series. I think they'll win again tonight. Obviously, I'm not going to bet against the Warriors again, but
I just think maybe that time off of the Rockets is maybe what
dude,
Donovan-
what everyone was talking about the experience versus these young guns.
and how hot the
showed.
Warriors have been though. They've been lights out.
That was
Butler
the
and
entire
Curry.
game. Like Jalen Green, worst game I've ever seen him play. It's just these young guns weren't ready to play. Sengun had an incredible game actually. Only player on the Rockets that played well. But Steph Curry, I think he had like 32. Jimmy Butler, these guys just do what they do best the entire game, and Rockets really had no answers.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm not going to go against these Warriors at all in this series. If I think they're going to lose, I just won't bet
Yeah, I'm done.
on
I'm
them.
done.
I do think there's a game, maybe two, where the young Rockets team puts it all together at one point and they just blow them out of the water with a nice 20-plus point win. But I do think the Warriors take the series, and it could be in as quick as 6, win at home on your home court, 5 or 6. But
I mean, if the Rockets lose tonight, it's probably over in
it's
5.
cooked. But
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler coming over with Draymond Green and Steph Curry, led by Steve Kerr, the amount of playoff experience. I like Buddy Hield on the outside too, and that quote that Jimmy Butler had to him the other day was just awesome.
Buddy,
But
stop dribbling.
yeah, that team with all the star power and playoff success they've had is so tough for them to put together if you're the Rockets. And they have a good coach over there in Udoka. They have Thompson too. Those two brothers look great in the playoffs so far. I mean, great in the regular season so far in their careers to get to the playoffs in the spot they're in. But yeah, they're going to need a little bit of magic down there in Houston to get a win tonight and even that series up and make it tough going back to Golden State. Because like Mac said, if you're down 0-2 going to the road, that's a death sentence, especially against Steph Curry if you're not shooting the ball well.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump ship on this Rockets team yet. I think the lights were a little bright in game 1. Obviously, it sucks that it was at home. The Warriors obviously were looking to split this in Houston, which I think they do. I think the Rockets get a win tonight. They're favored by 4.5. I was going to take that 4.5 for that reason that we, said about the Warriors. Everything we just said is the reason I'm not taking it. I think the Warriors even up this series. Basically, they just got to do what the Warriors did. Get one in San Fran. Get back to Houston for game 5, 2-2, make it a 3-game series. I'm not ready to jump ship on this team yet. I think they're still very well coached with Udoka, Sengun. If you can get another performance like that, I don't think Jalen Green can have another game even close to that. I'm going to stick with the Rockets. I'll say with my original pick was Rockets in 7. I'm going to stick by it.
You know what's
You
tough though is
gotta
going against the Warriors right now when you see a plus money sign near Steph Curry and him and Jimmy Butler are hot. That's what's tough is how good they're playing.
you gotta really be worried about that. Both performances, how well the Warriors played and how bad the Rockets played, though, on the Rockets' home floor.
And Mac, you've been preaching this for weeks now since the trade, that big trade where Jimmy Butler came over from Miami. How good is this Warriors team
They're
look?
top 3 in every category. Top 3 in
Yeah.
every category. So
It's a
this
whole
team that they
different
have
ballgame.
right now is statistically a top 3 team in the NBA, and they're
Which
a
is-
7 seed.
Yeah, on the road, and they've been there and done that. That's the best thing. And another matchup that's interesting to watch too. I don't know if you guys saw the clips. Is Brooks and Green, when them two going at it. I
Dylan
love
Brooks
those
is doing his
interactions.
thing. That's his job out there.
No, it's awesome though. It's awesome though. It's great for the game. A little old school mentality mixed in with a bunch of new point 3 shooters. So, yeah, I think this series could go a little bit deeper. But I've got the Warriors here. I keep thinking I want to throw on them while I see them at plus money because this might be the last time in the series we see them at plus money.
What's their series odds now? Oh, wait, they were minus 200.
They're probably minus
I was thinking it was
160,
opposite.
minus 180, I bet.
No, they were already minus 200. They're probably like minus.
Oh, they were minus 200 to open?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably
That's
like
wild.
minus 330.
Rockets were plus 168 going into the series.
Oh, I thought it was a lot closer than that. I thought it was closer to a pick 'em.
And Huff, did you see 91% of money was on the Rockets as well?
That's crazy to me. I thought people were big Steph Curry fans.
Dude,
like
you
us,
see the
Mackie.
2 seed at plus 170. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hammer this."
Yeah, but it's Steph
Western
Curry,
Conference,
living
ignore
legend.
the numbers next to these teams. With how close 3 through 8 was in the standings, they're
basically even.
the 8 seed's a game and a half away from being the 3 seed. Like,
Yeah, that's wild.
The only thing that matters is that the higher seeds get 4 games at home. That's basically
Exactly.
the difference.
And if you steal game 1 and erase that, then it's a whole new series. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if you guys agree with that one or not. This could be the last time we see the Warriors at plus money in the
definitely
series.
not when they're on their home floor.
Yeah. I
Well,
know.
you look at a 3-1 series lead going back to Houston. You're gonna see Houston at minus 5
Yeah, and on their own court.
on their own court.
They'll favor the Warriors to close it out in 6 back in
What?
San
What, Mackie? What if they sweep them at home and then, like in Houston, and then the Rockets steal one to stay alive in Golden State somehow, and it goes back to Houston where you're 0-2 in the series?
Oh yeah, I mean,
maybe
I guess
minus
that-
3. Like
I think it's
still
still.
think
I
they'd
think
take
it's.
the
I
Rockets.
mean,
to
dude,
win
they're
that
minus
home
4.5 right now.
Yeah, maybe a pick 'em. But yeah, that's just something interesting to look at. I don't think I'm going to touch this game once again, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Steph Curry and co. kind of roll this series against the youngins.
I know who I'm rooting for at least.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's move forward to this next series here. Knicks and Pistons tied 1-1 here. Game tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Knicks are the favorite here, 1.5 points for them. Total 214.5. Mackie, what do you think your Knicks are going to be able to do here in Game 3?
obviously Pistons did their job. They won one in New York. I think the Knicks just need to do the same thing, win one in Detroit. They're good. Everyone knows they're good. Cade is doing exactly what he needs to do. Realistically, this probably should be 2-0 Pistons at this point. Knicks had a 19-0 run in game one. They were down 8 when they went on the run, so they ended up covering 7.5 in the game. But I think if you watched the game, you wouldn't think that they really should have covered that game at all, or maybe even won the game. I think Tibbs needs to do a little bit better of a job of getting Cat involved later in the game. Mikal Bridges needs to knock down some damn shots. I think he went 0 for 8 in the fucking fourth quarter. Lost us that game for sure. Brunson doing his thing. There just needs to be a little more from everybody else. Pistons are playing mean ball defense too, and they're letting everything go. They're letting everything go on both ends. I'm not going to say it's the refs at all, but a little 90s basketball here in this series.
That's kind of been their aura the last few years, huh?
Who?
The Pistons. They just
Pistons won 25 games.
I was gonna say maybe this
No,
year.
no. I'm not saying the winning mentality, just the physical in your face play, that tough defense. You remember the fight that broke out a couple years ago? Didn't they have another one just this year before the playoffs too?
That's just Isaiah Stewart's a
Isaiah
loose
Stewart,
cannon.
running
yeah,
through
and
the
it runs
crowd.
through the lineup, and it kind of embodies the place that they're from. You know, the Detroit Pistons mentality that's timeless, I
Bad
guess.
boy Pistons 2.0.
Yeah, right. But Mackie, I don't know if you recall, we could pull up some older clips back in the day. I was like, this Pistons team could go on a run. Do you think the Pistons could do something? Cade Cunningham, like, they're a team to watch out for. I think this is probably one of the few teams in the East that you didn't really want to see in the first round, just because of how good Cade Cunningham is. They got Thompson alongside of him. They've been shooting the 3-ball pretty well too, and just this team has had a whole different mentality this year. They've actually been in the mix. They're hyped up. They're excited. A team that's been desperate to be in this spot. I do think the Knicks should be able to take care of the series because they're the much better team on paper. I did take the Pistons to win the series in 6 in my bracket, if you saw it posted on our account, but it would still shock me if the Pistons can take this one away. But like you said, they should be down 0-2 right now, heading to Detroit. A nice little run in game 1 helped them keep it stabilized. So now you're right there, and you're in a dogfight of a series. You got to steal one in Detroit. That place is going to be rocking for their first home playoff game in how long?
I'll keep my point quick. I think they win game 3. They'll go up 2-1. Obviously, whatever happens in game 4 is going to be interesting. If they can somehow win 2 on the road, I think this series will be over in 5. You split New York. I still have the Knicks in 6.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about them losing the series just yet. I just think that it's a lot different. You know how the Warriors-Rockets series, at least game 1 went. I expected this to be like the Knicks Pistons series where inexperience shows, but the way that they play basketball, it's not really about inexperience. It's about just playing your hard-nosed game. It's not about knocking down shots. It's just all bully ball at the end of the day, and they're playing it really well. All I'm going to say is Asar Thompson said that Jalen Brunson is easy to guard, and he has 11 fouls in 2 games, and Brunson's averaging 34.5 points per game.
Brunson's also flopping a lot.
Brunson's a polished veteran.
I'll send you the video after the podcast. Yeah, I knew you had to get that reaction.
I knew you were going to say that, and Brunson has had 11 free throw attempts last game, and Cade Cunningham had 12. So we can talk about flopping all day, but he's getting his points up.
He gets thrown.
Nobody talks about Shy like that, though.
That's why Brunson's been in the association for how long now? I mean, he knows how to get to the line. That's what good players do if you're doing it right. But I don't know. Pistons here. I'll be the one to back them here. I've got the Pistons to win the series in 6. I'll stick with my original pick. But let's see. Has this Knicks team got any mojo, any clutch genes in them? Now would be a good time to show it in these upcoming games.
Alrighty, next one here. Also game tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thunder and Grizzlies. Oklahoma City leads the series 2-0. The Thunder is favored at 8.5 points tomorrow night. 226.5 is the total. Any thoughts on this series? Huff, I know you said sweet.
Sweet. That's all I have to say. This isn't even
I guess
serious.
13.5 wasn't enough.
No, what's funny is I bought it up to 20.5 and they lost by 19. So
yeah, you know what's funny is when you sent that too, I was looking at. I almost wanted the tease on our card yesterday, the Bucks and the Grizzlies, but I was like, no, you know what? I'm just not going to do that.
What was the final score of that Bucks game? They lost by 8, I think.
Pacers won by 8. They covered.
So if you teased them both, you would have, or even
you would have
bought a few points.
Sweaty hit. But
yeah.
Not where you want to be, but this Grizzlies team, I did expect a little bit more at Ja Morant to maybe give him some troubles, but OKC's been so dominant all year long. They're so deep from top to bottom. They can't match up with them. They have the better player at every position. Yeah, Ja's great, but Shea's better.
Chet Holmgren's blocking shots like they're down 10 when they're up 20. Like
he's fully healthy now too. That's scary because remember he was banged up for a little bit. middle of the
They're
season.
they're definitely the best team in the West. This is not
Mackie,
even a series.
How do you
4-0
like
Thunder.
seeing Hartenstein with that squad out there too?
I want the best for Hartenstein. It sucks. Obviously, I love
How much
him
you
on
wish
the
you had
Knicks.
him though, because he
Yeah,
looks
for
great
sure.
out there.
You know how much different this Knicks team would be if we had iHeart.
Yep.
Good for him though. I mean, he's balling out there. He got paid.
He fits with that team so well.
Yeah, when you have him and Chet, that's a tough day of sledding.
Oh, if the Knicks still had him, be a different conversation.
Great piece. Yeah, I got the sweep too, though. They're so well coached. There's so many different options. They play great defense. They get to the line all the time, and they just get buckets. I've got the Thunder in 4.
Yeah, nothing to say here.
Best team in the league for a reason. Number 1 in our power rankings for months for a reason.
Best team in the league, huh? Nice.
Oh, they are until proven otherwise right now, right? They finished 1. You know I got going back to back, though. Come on.
Next series here, Nuggets and Clippers tied 1-1 here. Game tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. Clippers the favorite here, 5.5 points. Total 213.5. What are our thoughts on this series here? Tied 1-1.
You guys wrote off Jokic so much. Huff is a big Jokic guy the last
No,
few
we
years.
never wrote off Jokic.
We wrote him off. This could very easily be 2-0 going back to LA.
We never wrote him off.
I don't know, though. I
He
just
just
feel
said
like
he doesn't have the support around him. And guess what? Jamal Murray is playing incredible basketball. And it's still 1-1 going back to the Clippers.
Yeah, no,
Kawhi
I
Leonard-
like the Clippers team a lot too. I was just shocked. Like I couldn't really get a great read on this series. I think it could have went either way. I was just shocked though because I feel like the last couple of years, at least Huff, maybe it was 2 years ago, a year ago, you were really high on these Nuggets. Pretty much the same roster. I know the coaching change is pretty different, and they played really weak alongside them in the regular season. But does the regular season matter if you get there? Not really. So now Jamal Murray is back to playing his good basketball once again. But like you said, I love having Kawhi and James Harden as 2 big pieces of your playoff team.
Did anybody watch that game? That game too?
I watched game 1.
Parts of it, not all of it.
That was solely the most impressive performance I've ever seen by Kawhi Leonard. It was just incredible basketball. Every single shot, I think he had 36 points, 39 points actually. Missed 3 shots the entire game. Every single shot was contested mid-rangers or 3-point shots. It was just, there was no stopping
That
him.
big one before the half, I saw that.
Every shot was like that with a hand in his face.
But the thing is, it was a close game for most of it throughout, too.
Yeah, it never got, I think it was an 8-point lead for both at one point, but the entire
fact that
game was...
Kawhi has to have that good of a performance every time. I know he can. He's done it. He's done it multiple times to win it all, too. I don't know. I just think this one could go 7 for sure. I think this has the making of 7. 2 really good teams. Tough that they have to play each other in the first round. They probably envy the Warriors for getting into the play-in tournament and getting to play the Rockets in the first round.
Yeah, right. Warriors definitely got the better scenario here.
But like you said, how quickly a season can turn around almost with Jamal Murray stepping up to the plate. But he's been here and done that. He's an NBA champion, right? I mean, they have that in the tank. But that Clippers team, when they want to play good basketball, those guys can play great basketball.
Yeah, X factor there is kind of like Norman Powell, what kind of game he could have. Because James Harden and Kawhi are going to do their thing. But if you can get the extra 3-point shot from Norman Powell, that team's way different.
Didn't he win it all with Kawhi up in Toronto, too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in that team.
That's crazy, huh?
He was a 6-man.
Yeah, those corner threes. I remember him with them, too. I like Zubac, too, in the middle there. He's a nice rebounding middle piece. I think he's matching up with Jokic, too, right?
Zubac, yeah, they go at it, and they're both.
He's had a great series. I'm going to stick with
year.
Clippers in 6. I think this is a very competitive series. I think Clippers will get. I'm gonna say Clippers win 2 in LA, and then we have a 3-1 series going back to Denver. Game 5, Nuggets win Game 5. Clippers close it out in Game 6.
I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7.
I'll go Clippers in 6 as well.
Mac, don't you have 3 units on
Clippers?
The Clippers to win the series at a pick 'em?
Series. Yeah, I think it's looking good. I think that they just needed to win one in Denver. I think they're gonna defend home court.
I still the same line right now, right? 1-1.
I bet not the way the Clippers have been playing. I bet it went down.
I just think that they have home field. They have home court.
They got home. They stole home court, so now they're probably the favorite.
They're probably like minus 130, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Not a bad spot to be at, but I think this is probably the most competitive series in the first round, in my opinion.
Clippers are minus 180. Wow.
Can either of these teams win the whole thing?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Are they, no matter who wins the series, are they out next round?
I think they get the Thunder. Winner of this series gets the Thunder next round, right?
Is this 4-5?
Warriors win.
This is 4-5, yeah.
No, if the Warriors win, then they won't. Oh,
no,
yeah,
it doesn't
reseed, right?
It doesn't
hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I'd say one of these teams could give the Thunder a run for their money, but I think the Thunder are so good.
Yeah, the Thunder just too young.
They're
too young for both of them.
Thunder are so good. I just can't buy in on an NBA champion.
No, I have them losing the Western Conference Finals. We'll get there. We'll get there with our next series. This is the most competitive one, though. And it's nice to see like grizzled vets going at it. There's not really any young head that's taking over this series. It's just the OGs right now.
Yeah, it is.
Already jumping into these series on Friday that have some games. Pacers, Bucks here. Bucks leading the series, Pacers leading the series 2-0. Bucks are the favorite here, 4.5 points. Total is 229.5 for this next matchup here on Friday. What are you guys thinking?
Pacers in 5, I'm going to say. I think Bucks win 1 at home. Pacers win game 5 back at home.
I think Pacers go up 3-0, and I think Bucks win game 4.
Pacers are a much, much better team, huh? Like, none of those pieces outside of Dame and Giannis can do literally anything.
The supporting cast for the Pacers is just...
You mean Kuz just isn't it anymore?
No, Kuz might not be it, no.
I don't think so.
Bucks just don't have it.
Yeah, we still have enough roster that we talked about to open the pod. That Pacers lineup is so deep and so underrated too. Like a bunch of great players that you wish your team had coming off their bench. They have them. They've got the second unit can put up points. They have the top end star power too, and they did it last year. Like they're right here again. Like maybe that's just it.
Yeah, no, they're a lot better than people give them credit for. I got Pacers in 5. Like I said, I think plus 165 on Friday. I might take that, but I'll probably take the plus 4.5. I think Bucks will win game 4, series over back in Indy game 5.
Yeah, I got him in 6 here just because I'm going to respect the champion that is Giannis, especially going to his home court. And look at what he's been doing, Huff. We talked about this. He's having great games and they're still losing. Do you think this could be the nail in the coffin to get him out the door in Milwaukee to maybe want to flip scenes if you're getting beat by the Indiana Pacers in the first round?
Well, they bring in Kyle Kuzma as your supporting cast, so I think you have some questions for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy to see these Pacers, but here they are just once again. We should have learned last year.
Alrighty, let's jump into this final series here for the NBA playoffs. Lakers and Timberwolves. Series tied 1-1. Timberwolves are the favorite here going in this next matchup. 3.5 for them. Total 206.5. Series price has the Lakers favored at -120. Timberwolves at +100. What are you guys thinking about this final series in the NBA playoffs for this year?
Did Ant wake him up by going through the warm-ups and chirping him before the game?
Yeah, I think he was fucking. They're both fucking around. I don't think it was serious, but
it
reminds me of that movie Hustle.
Absolutely unreal. The Timberwolves are obviously no one expected anything of this. I think this iteration of the Timberwolves getting rid of Cat, no one really thought they'd be in this picture. They get a first-round matchup against the Lakers. Lakers didn't look good in game 1. Timberwolves absolutely just stepped on their throat, took the series lead. Lakers did their job in game 2 last night whenever we had them minus the 5 points. So plus 2.5 Friday night in Minnesota. I'm going to take the Lakers to get a win. This is basically a must win if you're the Lakers. You not really must win in the aspect.
No, I disagree.
Pivotal game. It's a pivotal game.
It's a huge game. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
think
think
a huge
so.
game. You do not want to go down again in this series.
I think you get out of Minnesota 2-2. You're fine. You're not going to go
into LeBron too. The longer the series goes is not good for that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to end up being a game 7 in LA, and there's just no way Minnesota's going to win a game 7 in Los Angeles.
You think
that's a really good series?
Mac, do you think that the Wolves win game 3 or 4?
I think there's so many weaknesses in this Lakers team.
But there's also a lot of weaknesses in that Wolves team. There's a lot of weaknesses in the Wolves team too.
They're way more systematic than the Lakers are. Lakers are so reliant on
but that top end. I think the top end prowess is so good. And I think they were kind of a sleeping giant in that first game. They didn't wake up. They played awful defense. They couldn't get buckets.
But that's them. That's the Lakers. That's not out of the ordinary for them to play awful defense.
Yeah, but we saw Luka Doncic take over in game 2. I think that's going to continue to happen in this series. I don't think that they're going to be able to contain him and LeBron every game. I've got the Lakers winning this one in 5 or 6, honestly.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say Lakers in 7. I think you can get great series odds right now at -115 on the Lakers. Huff, I know you're huge on the Lakers. So
wait, what were those odds, Huff? Odds, Mackie?
-115 to win the series.
I love that.
Well, you guys should hop on it right now. It also is kind of sketchy that they're only -115, but they were also only -190 before the series started.
Huff's 2 dogs going at it head to head. How good is Ant though? I'm not an Ant Edwards fan, but he's a good basketball player.
He's a clown, man. I love watching him play. But he's doing his thing. I don't think that the Lakers really outmatched them very well.
Yeah, no, this can be a good series. I originally said Lakers, I think 5. I'm going to go with 6.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff there out of the NBA. Make sure you stay tuned for our live streams here every weekend covering all the madness in the NHL and NBA playoffs, as well as the MLB. Let's jump over to the NHL while we're at it here, starting with our power rankings before we jump into the playoff series there. Coming in at number 5, though, we have the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 4, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 3, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. And number 1, the Winnipeg Jets. What are we thinking about our power rankings here for this week?
I mean, like Mackie said with the NBA, this could be going a lot of different directions, right? We made these. There's only 1 or 2 games into each series. Teams playing on their home ice. You got to respect the Jets because they're getting over the hump, I guess you could say, of winning hockey games in the playoffs. But they had a great regular season up to this point. A lot of those other teams out west are so star-studded. Shame that we have to see either the Stars or the Avs take a tumble in the first round because of who they're matched up against. Same with the Panthers and the Bolts. But you could put a lot of teams here. I think those Canes drew a nice round 1 matchup, and they're going to roll. The Leafs survived last night to get that overtime win, so they're sitting pretty 2-0 as well. And then Vegas, I know they flopped last night, but I think that's a really strong team there. So you could go a lot of different directions, but I'm eager to jump into these series with you guys and see what we think about how they're going to end up.
So you can put any team 1 to 5 at this point, I think.
Not any team. I don't think you can put the
Penguins, the Bruins, or the Rangers, and
or the St. Louis Blues even that are in the playoffs. I don't think.
Okay, but you're saying any team that's in the you have we have the Capitals at 5, don't we?
Any of the home ice
No,
advantage
Hurricanes.
teams coming into the playoffs.
You can put the Hurricanes at 1 if you really wanted to.
You could. I would.
And there's a very good argument. You can put the Caps at 1. You can put any of these top 5 teams at 1.
You can't put the Caps at 1, Mackie. They're not.
You can.
One.
They had the second best record in the regular season, and they're
yeah, but they're not 1 though. We all know it.
All right.
You don't think
speaking
so.
of the Caps, Canadians and Caps here playing here tonight as we're recording. What are you guys thinking about this series here? Washington leading 1-0 here going into Game 2. Again, Game 2 happening in just
what a
shortly.
game! That first one. I mean, the only thing I said, I tripped these Capitals all year. Like I like the Capitals too. I'm a huge Ovi guy. I got some Caps merch upstairs, but I've been tripping. I'm just like, they're regular season heroes. But the one thing I kept alluding to all year is like, it's going to be like a storybook fictional thing. If they go on to win the cup and it's made up by the league, propaganda to make sure Ovi wins it in the year he breaks the record. But how storybook was it for him to open the series with the scoring from the same spot he scored his record-breaking goal from?
Exact spot.
And then to score the overtime game-winning goal at home for the first time in his career to do it in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that. He was tossing the body around too, absolutely laid out Cole Caulfield. Guys doing it all over the ice, and that just flows throughout the lineup, that energy, that charisma, and that's why they took home Game 1. And also, the Caps barn was rocking. They rocked the red down there. And this young Habs team, really small, outmatched in the physicality game, new to the playoffs, new bench boss in St. Louis, first time coaching the playoffs, but they held their own in Game 1. I thought it'd be a little bit more of a tumble against a veteran-heavy team that's been here and done that. But they stood toe-to-toe with them and almost stole Game 1. I think it could be a better series than we think. I have the Habs winning round 1. But, yeah, big Game 2 coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by the original one I said. I think I said Caps in 5. I think they'll be 2-0 going back to Montreal. So I think they handle business again tonight and a win. I just think this Capitals team is better than most people think. I don't know, but the general public, how they feel about it. Yeah, I just think the disrespect that Ace throws at them, if anyone, I'm definitely the least biggest Capitals fan here. I fucking never been a fan of Ovechkin. I respect him. Obviously, cool to see him. I thought it was crazy that that was his first overtime winner on a playoff game.
Yeah.
When they said that, I was absolutely mind blown. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been in many scenarios like that. I don't know.
When you go to overtime, they're like, "Hey, let's cover that guy number 8."
Yeah, you think that all season, like, hey, every time they're on a power play, it blows my mind that he's that wide open. It's like,
all the time.
Have you not watched this guy score 600 from that spot?
Are you better off just taking him out of the play and making him? No, dude, 4-on-3 hockey is tough.
I'd make it 4-on-3. Just don't.
No,
give
that's
him that
the thing. That's
one-timer.
why he snapped so much this year in that old season, putting up the 40-plus goal campaign in a shortened season for him, is because they actually have players around them again for the first time since they won the Cup. I mean, the rebuild that the Capitals had in the offseason was crazy.
So why do you sleep on them?
I just don't think they're that good of a team.
You
They have
don't
a
think they're
great.
better than the Habs? You don't think can win this
Oh,
series against the
I'm
Habs?
just drinking the Habs Kool-Aid. I
Okay,
love that
okay. You
dynamite
do love that.
offense
You
that they
love those
have.
youngins too.
I hate the Canadians as a franchise, but it's not Thomas Plekanec or Max Pacioretty and PK Subban out there. No, it's Demidov and it's Cole Caulfield, Suzuki, Laine,
You don't have a
Clayton
reason to hate
Hudson.
those guys yet.
Yeah, they're all beasts, and they were all poverty in the last few years. It's not really doing much against my Bruins, so it's nice to see them jumping onto the scene. And I was always a big Marty St. Louis guy. I don't know if you guys were when you were younger, but he plays that style perfectly, and that's what I'm looking for a head coach in Boston to come in and do is rejuvenate us with some of that offense. But I think they're faster than that Caps team too. The speed they bring that was noticeable in Game 1. They can hang with these big dogs, and I think the Capitals set themselves up in a very, very strong position with a great regular season, because if they didn't, I think they would be a first-round exit if they had to play the Hurricanes or if they had to play the Maple Leafs or somebody of a better stature. The fact that they put themselves in the spot, they could get through the round, but I don't think they're better than the other four or five great teams in the East.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff, boys, out of that first series. Yeah, this first round's definitely lived up to the hype thus far through 2 games for most series, including this one here. Stars and Avalanche tied 1-1, playing here tonight. What are you guys thinking about this series?
I think it's very telling that the Stars are lucky to be tied 1-1 going back to Colorado. This could be over in 5. But
this is the inverse of the last series we just talked about. The Capitals are beneficiaries of playing a light team, and the Stars are being punished for where they finished. And
the West is just so much heavier, though.
I mean, you would rather play anybody else out west than the Avalanche in the first round.
I think the Avalanche are the top team in the West for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's a tough draw. I'm super high on the Stars team. I have them to win the cup in my
can see
bracket.
this-
Yeah, you got to get out of the first round, though. I mean, that's the hardest series you're going to see the whole time. But what the Avs did at the deadline to revamp that roster around the superstars they already had. Now, Gabe Landeskog is miraculously making his comeback for Game 3, which is nuts. Everybody wrote him off putting on skates this year, and he's here. Unlike Johnny Tays, he's rejuvenating his career. But we also see Miro Heiskanen getting back on the ice. We see Jason Robertson potentially coming back if the series goes on and on. So both teams are going to get some Joel Sagan in there for the Stars too. I can't believe you're writing off this series in 5 because this is probably the toughest one to call. I think whoever wins this one has a good chance of getting to the cup. But this series in itself is definitely going 7 games in my series. Both of these teams are way too good to get bounced early on.
I think my original pick was Avs in 5. I'm going to stand by that. I hate to say that, but I think they handle business 3-1 in Colorado going back to Dallas. And I mean, I think you could see a similar scenario. Playoff hockey, it could be a balance. If it gets to overtime in Game 5 and Avs are up 3-1, I'd definitely take the Avs to win in 5. But it could easily go 6. I mean, this is probably the most competitive series, in my opinion. You get 2 absolute juggernauts going at it head-to-head in the first round. I just think the Avalanche are not the far better team, but they're the best team in the West, in my opinion.
They're more veteran than the other team, but the talent, dude, for that Stars team is nuts from top to bottom.
Heiskanen has killed them so far.
Yeah,
they win an overtime game. Like, I mean, you could, say it goes the other way, but they give up a 3-2 lead, let the Stars get back into it, force the overtime. Stars get the job done in overtime on an absolute snipe. That was a hell of a shot, that a great goal to win the game. But I have the Avs tonight winning this game. I'll stick with 5, max 6.
All right, up next, Kings and Oilers. Kings leading the series 1-0 here. Also playing here tonight. What are you guys thinking about this matchup here going into Game 2 in LA?
Good hit on that Kings money line. I was too nervous to take it in the first game, and now I'm in a tough spot because do you think McDavid goes down 2-0? But
I just think the Kings.
It made you sweat that one out.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. I went to sleep. They were up.
Yeah, I wasn't even
4-1.
watching it. I mean, this is the best home team in the league, and you're going to see them at minus 125. You're going to take the value on it, in my opinion.
They're playing one of the deadliest teams in the league.
Say again?
They're playing one of the deadliest teams in the NHL.
Just
with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
2 players, yeah. But, I mean, Oilers would take care of business at home. I think this is going to go the distance. I just think the Kings win all their home games.
I have the Kings in the first round of my bracket. Did you guys take them as well?
I think I did. I forget. Yeah, I have the Kings in the Western Conference Finals.
Wow, that's craziness to me. I mean, but they can go on the run. Darcy Kemper, he has a cup, right?
I mean, you get past the Oilers, and then that's one of the hardest teams you're going to play. So
Yeah, and they get a nice second round matchup. They get the winner of the Jets and the Blues, right?
I think it reseeds in the NHL. I'm not 100% sure.
So it could be the Jets, though. Maybe it
Could be the
depends on a lot
Jets,
of
could be
different
the
scenarios.
Avs. I think if they get the Jets, they're happy.
Yeah, they're the 1 seed. Yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios that play out. But that Kings Oilers series, I think it's going to go 7 as well. I mean, if you're going to put out the reigning Western Conference champions in the first round, and you've seen them 3 years in a row with the best player in the world and arguably the second best player in the world, you're not doing it in less than 7, in my opinion.
I don't know how many games I picked this series to go. I'll say 7 as well. I think this is one of the few that go 7.
I think that Matthias Ekholm move is actually massive. The fact that he is missing this series, got injured at the end of the year, is massive. They gave up 6 goals last game, and you just lost your top shutdown defenseman. And they've always had defensive and goaltending issues. That's always been the weakness of McDavid-led teams. And now you lose a guy like that. It's tough to contain, and the amount of firepower that LA has been able to support those young guys that jumped onto the scene. Look at Byfield, the year he had, and they still have guys like Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty in the lineup with their winning pedigree. I mean, it's a tough matchup, tough series. You can never count out McDavid, though. But yeah, I've got the Kings here to eke it out in 7 and finally get over their older brother in Edmonton.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff for the games and the series happening here tonight. Let's jump into some games happening Thursday, Friday. Starting with the Panthers and Lightning here. The Panthers leading the series here 1-0. Lightning favored for game 2, though, at -125. Panthers +105. Total at 5.5. What are you guys thinking?
And are you guys worried about these Lightning?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
The defending champs are the defending champs for a reason. They came out 6-2.
Don't overreact.
I had the
I'm
Lightning in the
overreacting.
Eastern, I have the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. If I could remake my bracket now, I'm literally jumping ship on this series. I think the Panthers look like the better team for 1 game. I know it's 1 game in. Tkachuk gets 2 goals. He's the identity of that team. They played that exact style that got them to the Stanley Cup last year. I think Panthers maybe in 5 or 6.
Whoa, 5 is crazy. I think it's
Overreaction button. Ding ding
Yeah,
ding. Clip that one. Wow.
I forget who I had. I think I had the Lightning winning this one, but it was a toss up for me. I am gonna go with the Panthers now. I think it's still a series. I just think I was worried about this Panthers team being fully healthy and playing to their ability that they played to last year, and they played exactly that way. So I mean, you see a game like that, and they don't really give you any doubts. I think this team at healthy is the best team in the East.
I've been having this conversation all day with delusional Bruins fans backing the Panthers because they have Marshall. I'm like, no, how can you do that? They ruined my Bergeron perfect season 2 years ago. They won the Stanley Cup and beat us in the first round last year. I'm so anti these new Florida Panthers led by Matthew Tkachuk. I do have the Lightning going to the Stanley Cup too, but do not jump ship. You expect the defending Stanley Cup champions, who had a very strong season, made some big acquisitions up front, to come out and put pucks in the net in the first game. That's what they did. They're like, hey, we're still here. We're the reigning champs. And Vasilevsky didn't look like himself. There's some Mac-Year goal. There's some iffy goals to start that game. That Sam Bennett saucer pass knocking out of the air to start the game off. Then a tip by Sam Reinhart, both in the first period, are tough to overcome. They were in the box a bit, and then Matty Tkachuk doing his thing, putting 2 in. I think the series settles down. I think the Lightning definitely take the next one at home. They showed their goal-scoring prowess with Gensel grabbing on the power play as a reason. He scored the most power play goals in the regular season. And that team's so deep, loaded top to bottom. I am not confident in this Panthers defensive core to make them go on a run as deep as they did the last 2 years. And that is because they moved on from Brendan Montour, but they're like, that's all right. We have Aaron Ekblad. He ended up getting hurt, so now he's out. Your top right defenseman is Seth Jones, who we've talked about on this podcast, who's been one of the most overrated defensemen in his career. I know Forsling looks good too. And you still got Bob in the pipes, who I'm not a big fan of. But I think that the firepower of this Tampa Bay Lightning team can get them back in the mix, even if the series 1-1, and the overreactions will settle down, and it'll go to 7 games, just like everybody expected, and it's going to be a dogfight there. And the fact that the Lightning have home ice is the reason I'm going to get them to knock off the defending Stanley Cup champions.
I would not be shocked if the Panthers take a 2-0 lead back to Fort Lauderdale. This isn't even really a road trip. It's a Battle of Florida. That's 2 hours apart between these two rinks. I would not be shocked if the Panthers win game 2. I think there's great value on them, plus 105. I'm seeing here, at least on ESPN. But I think it's going to be going back to game 5 in Tampa Bay, 3-1 Florida.
Wow, that's crazy. But
Whether Tampa wins game 2 or steals 1 in Fort Lauderdale, I think it's 3-1 Panthers. Going back to Tampa for game 5, I think Tampa will get 1 there. Florida in 6. I'll say the 5 was a little bit of a jump. I don't know if they win tomorrow. I might be saying 5.
The dramatic fashion they won in yesterday inclines you to give you a little bit more hope in it, which rightfully so, 6-2 on their home ice. But these two great legendary coaches, John Cooper, Paul Maurice, you're going to see some adjustments here. I think Cooper can figure it out. Didn't he do it just for that Canadian team against Team USA where he beat the Kachucks in the finals of that Four Nations tournament? He's got a very similar roster. A lot of guys are on that team. Makeup of the roster is the same too. I'm going to go with the Lightning team at the series in game 2, and it's gonna be a dogfight throughout. Both teams are gonna have their ups and downs, peaks and valleys. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lightning blow them out one time too. They have that firepower to do so. Best series in the East by far.
Florida doesn't get blown out often with that game, the way they play. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that in-your-face style. How about that penalty kill you guys were watching last night? I hate their penalty kill, but it's so tough to play against. And they've made a miss yesterday. They play that 2 men on the puck, that aggressive PK in the D zone, and they leave wide open chances, but you have to be able to get the puck through or else it's immediately out. And they have killers like Marchand, Bennett, Luis Ryan, Lundell, world-class penalty killers. And they're just all in your face, but if you get time to settle down and you're Lightning, you find that seam. Jake Gensel's putting him in the back of the net. Braden Point's putting him in the back of the net. You know Cooch is there too. So they're going to crack through. I still got hope in the Tampa Bay squad.
Toronto and Ottawa here. Tampa. Oh my God.
The Battle of Ontario?
Yes. Battle of Ontario. Another state battle here, Providence battle, whatever they call it up there. Toronto leading the series here 2-0. Game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Senators are the favorite here, just minus 115 and basically a pick 'em. Leafs at minus 105. What are you guys thinking about this game, this series? Again, Maple Leafs up 2-0 here, heading to Ottawa.
Must win.
Here's an overreaction from me. Mackie, I think you had them there. I think the Leafs are going to the Stanley Cup.
I think I do have them there, don't I?
All this in it.
Yeah, right.
I seriously think they look like the best team in the East, in my opinion. Carolina looks very good. That's a very injured Devils team. I'm not ready to jump the gun on Carolina and make that call that they're going to get through their Eastern Conference Finals hump. I think we could get a Toronto-Carolina Eastern Conference Finals. I think Toronto's a better team.
Yeah, but this is such a late matchup again, too, and they played themselves in this spot
It's
to
really
get the
not
wild
a
card
late
seed.
matchup.
I mean, Linus Ullmark's lost, 6 or 7 consecutive playoff games. It's a very inexperienced forward core and a weak defensive core behind their top 2-3 guys. A team that hasn't been there and that's showcasing. Game 1, I think, really showed that. It was the experience of the Leafs that really showed large, and they can't contain that firepower that's up front. That power play for the Leafs has been lethal. It was nice to see the Ottawa Senators get back in the game. I had them winning the series. I don't think they do now. I think it could be over in as soon as 5.
Solars is 10-0 in his last 10 games. I mean, he's playing incredible hockey. One thing you take away from the start of the series is that it's an evenly matched. They're evenly matched games. Senators are right with them. Leafs are just capitalizing on their opportunities. They're getting better goaltending as well. I think when you can put everything together like that, and when the Leafs finally have a goalie that could step up and play a really good hockey game, they're a lot scarier. And even with Austin Matthews not burying the puck, they're getting everything else. He's getting the assists as well.
Tavares has had a hell of a series so far.
I'm still not sold on that defensive core, though. They don't even have a defenseman that plays on the power play. They got Riley, Carlo, and OEL as their top defenseman back there. When they move on to the second round and face either one of these Florida teams, they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
They might not face one of these Florida teams.
Oh, yeah, because it depends on how it goes.
Reseed. I don't really. I couldn't even think about it right now. But
no, they definitely do. They definitely do because you play the East plays each other. That's how it goes. Like the winner of this series plays the winner of Leafs Sens. The winner of Florida plays Leafs Sens.
It hurts my brain too much to think about how it would reseed. I'll just worry about it when it gets there.
You have the Metro on one side and the East on one side.
The NHL is so dumb.
M1 in Wild Card 2.
I think you're right.
That will play M2, M3.
I think you're right.
The whole reason they did that was to set up the rivalries, which is just stupid.
Yeah, but you get Oilers Kings 5 years in a row, and then everyone's like, I'm sick of watching
for how many years in a row. But it does create the rivalries and the juices. But I agree with you. I'm right there. Get back to the 1-8 format. But like I said, if that Leafs defense is maybe Stolarz too, exposed next round by whoever wins that Florida series.
Leafs look good though. They're playing
As
really
far as
good
the
hockey.
series, I think this could be a sweep.
Senators dead, though?
I'm taking the Leafs tomorrow night in Game 3.
Sun's dead.
Yeah,
Sens
the series
aren't. I don't think
I
they're
think the series
dead.
is over for sure.
I don't think so. I mean, the
Forcing
better,
OT can give you a little bit of a spark.
the higher seed took care of business at home. That's all that's happened so far.
And it's Huff. You haven't said it yet on this podcast. I think we had you over 1.5 times saying this, and you haven't even hit it once yet. Is the series doesn't start until you lose on your home
Until
field.
you lose at
Yeah,
home.
no, I know what you mean, but I like I said, I did say it was an overreaction when I said
Lost
they
the
go to the Stanley
words.
Cup. I think they look like the best team in the East.
I think the Canes look pretty unstoppable as well, but they're playing a shitty Devils team with no Jack Hughes.
Yeah, that's why I said I can't judge them yet. I think
that
they're
team
very
is
good
so-
as well.
Yeah, you know what else though? We're not even at that series yet. I'll get there when I get there. But also that Olmark stat about losing 6 playoff games in a row is kind of alarming.
I didn't know that. That's crazy stuff.
All right, I'm gonna go Leafs in 6, but I don't think the series is over.
I think max 5.
Yeah, I got Leafs in 5 now. Hurts me to say, but I just don't think the Sens are ready for the moment.
Alrighty, let's move over to the next series here. Heading to Game 3 in Minnesota, tied 1-1. Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. The Golden Knights are the favorite in their game tomorrow, -150. Total again 5.5. What are you guys thinking about this?
I'm gonna go with a hot take here. I might be over exaggerating. I'm gonna go Leafs. I'm gonna go Wild in 6.
Matt Boldy, you're buying in on the juice.
Dude,
I mean, that
they're
guy's
playing really
great.
well. Matt Boldy,
KK.
Carill's obviously doing well as Gustafsson and net. I
Gus,
like this team.
Gus showed us how good he was in that Four Nations tournament.
I think Vegas is a little overrated as well. I mean, even that first game, they didn't play great. It's basically a 3-2 hockey game. They had a late power play that basically didn't give the Wild any chance to
the
do
Wild got a late
push.
one though to get back in the game.
Say again.
The Wild got that late one to get back in the game. I'm just so scared of that Vegas firepower. It's like they're like the Stars and the Avs. They have top line guys playing bottom 6 minutes. Like you can come at me with Eichel, you can come at me with Hurdle. Like guys like Dorofeyev had a great season. Howden put up 2-goal game in game 1. There's just so many different pieces. I think they're deeper, but yeah, you can't overlook the star power of Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy. They're really putting the team on their back.
I think the goaltending here is the real difference. I don't love Hill. I don't.
Yeah, Stanley Cup winner Aiden Hill.
I'm sticking with. I think I originally had Vegas in 5. I'm going to jump to 7.
I'm going to jump to 6.
So
I'm
you
going to jump to
think
Vegas
you
in
think
6.
it's more of a series? I mean, Vegas definitely outplayed them last night. You look at the shots; they were 32-17, but that's just Gus versus Hill right there.
Yeah, Gus looked great all year long. He really jumped on the. I know he's been there for a while now, but he jumped on the scene as a top-notch goaltender here this year. One of the better goalies in the West, at least I think. You can maybe put him right up there behind that, behind Hellebuck. But yeah, I don't think they have enough to win this series. The Vegas Golden Knights, I think they've written off too much by everybody because everybody's so starstruck by Colorado and Dallas right now. This Vegas team is really loaded top to bottom. They've been there and done that. I know I say that a lot, but they have a lot of guys that already won it all. And too much firepower, I think, for the Wild to contain game in and game out. It's going to catch up to Gus. When's the last time he played in a 7-game series, 6-game series like this? I don't know if he has yet in his NHL career. I don't think he has.
If it's Game 7 in Vegas, Vegas is not losing that game.
No,
Why not?
I don't think so either.
I don't see it happening.
Minnesota's going to be rocking. You know how much they love their hockey going home to play that. And they do have a lot of underrated guys in that lineup, too, that we don't talk about a lot. A lot of vets like Eriksson Ek, Hartman. I think Rossi's up there, too. And then what's the name? Brock Faber, that youngin. We saw him jump onto the scene with Four Nations tournament, too. He didn't have a great first game. He actually played terrible. And they turned around game 2. So it could go a little bit deeper than we think. That Wild team, they had a wicked hot start to the year. You guys remember that? And then they cooled off for a bit. But yeah, I mean, they're not wicked good like the Vegas Golden Knights. So I've got the Knights here in 6.
Alrighty, let's jump over this next series here. The Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. The Jets leading the series here 2-0, but game tomorrow. Jets are the favorite, -120. What are we thinking about this series?
Jimmy Snugger with the dog.
Not over. That's all I'm going to say is it's not over.
I don't think it is either.
No,
I
I'm
thought
gonna
the
say-
Blues were going to steal that game, too.
I'm going to say
when it
Jets
was-
in 7.
When it was a tie game and right before the lead or Jets took that lead 2-1, I thought that was the prime game for the Blues to steal, especially in Winnipeg. Not an easy place to play in the playoffs. They love that whiteout. That place goes crazy for their playoff hockey, even though their team is not very good in the playoffs. I think the Jets will still win this series. I'm going to say it might go, like Mackie said, 6 or 7.
I think they're going to go 5. I think they're going to split in St. Louis if they don't.
Why would they go? Like, why would it go 5? What have they showed you that it's like dominant hockey?
It's not even that what they're showing me. It's kind of reminding me of the take that you guys are having on these Capitals in the East right now. It's just they're beneficiaries of a great regular season playing against this inferior team. I don't think the St. Louis Blues have what it takes. They're a little banged up too. They're just not a good enough team to take out the Jets. They gave them their best shot last game, and they couldn't even finish the job. And you know what else? Jimmy Stuggerud, who hasn't even been in the NHL for a month, has looked like their best player, most impactful player. What
They
are the
don't
rest
really
of these
have
guys?
that true star like
That's what
Robert
I'm
Thomas,
saying.
Kyrou, but like neither do the Kings. The Kings had 2 guys past 65 points this year with Kempe and Fiala, and that's
Kings
their
are
leading scorers.
they're a little bit older and they have a much stronger defense
And a
they have
goalie
a better
that's won a Stanley
goaltender.
Cup.
Yeah, I know, but Jordan Binnington, yes, he's very clutch, but he's actually not as good as these other goalies.
I wouldn't even really call him clutch. I think he just goes on.
No,
runs.
he is clutch. He definitely is clutch. Let me
Why?
tell you, Mackie, I had to watch him in the Stanley Cup Game 7 in Boston. That guy's
He's a
pretty clutch.
rookie.
That guy's pretty. I mean,
So-
he did
you're
it to
talking
Team USA
si-
too.
you're talking
he did
6,
it to
7
Team
years
USA in
ago.
overtime a couple months ago.
Yeah, that was. I mean, he made that really incredible.
clutch. Like
save,
he's not
yeah.
even that good, but when
Yeah.
the money's on the table, he's
No, he
gonna
just
take
goes
it.
on runs. I think when he's hot, he's hot.
The crazy saves too. We even saw those in Game 1 and Game 2. He made some insane saves to keep this team in the game. The Jets should have a lot more goals than they do. They're a lot bigger than the St. Louis team. They've been laying the boom on them. Huff and I were talking about that the last time they played.
They're killing each other in this series. It's been definitely the most physical
The
series.
Jets are the bigger squad. I think it's going to take a bigger toll on those St. Louis Blues. And like I said, though, they don't have anybody to rely on. I think Holloway's still out with the injury, too, and he was one of their best players. They offer sheeted him in the offseason. Broberg, too. A lot of young guys on this team. Jimmy Montgomery, solid coach, but another guy that likes to lose in the playoffs. I've got the Jets here. They're going to get over the hump. I think it might be a statement. 4-1, 4-0, I'm going to say. But shout out to Jimmy Stuggerud. That guy jumped onto the scene quick, and he's had some great games to jump into his NHL playoff career.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I just wouldn't. Your ace is gonna be mind blown by this. I just would not be completely surprised if the Blues just went back and won 3 games in a row. I wouldn't.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't. You win your 2 at home. You win your.
Let's
you win-
start with one.
Listen, I said I don't think it's gonna happen, but I just wouldn't be complete. I wouldn't
Mac,
be
you know what's
mind
tough, though?
blown.
I think that was their best shot last game. I don't think they can get much
They
better
haven't
than
played
that.
on home ice yet. Let them play on home ice.
No, I know.
If they
I know.
protect home ice advantage and then they have all the momentum going back to Game 5,
I don't think they win a game in Winnipeg with the whiteout.
but there's no pressure on them. All the pressure is on Winnipeg.
Yeah, I know, but they had a
Dude, they
tough
play
start.
fine hockey
You
in
know
Winnipeg.
what's crazy, Mackie, is
They played.
Hellebuck let in 3 goals on 10 shots to open the series, and they
Hellebuck
still won
sucks
that
in the
game.
playoffs. I
And
think
they
we've
still
known
won.
that.
No, and the Jets still won that game handedly. You don't realize how deep this Jets team is. That's the other thing is they brought in good pieces at the deadline too. Remember what they did? They brought in that depth defense that can be strong and hang with you. So they have some bottom 6 pairing defensemen that can step up. They have the goal scoring throughout. Look who was putting pucks in last game. It was Connor and Scheifele. I mean, that's who you want to step up. If they're hot, the rest of the lineup's good too. I've got them winning in 4 or 5. They're just so overmatched. I think it's like the Capitals, though. If this Jets team or this Capitals team saw a better team in the first round, they'd be bounced immediately.
All I'm saying is if they win 3 straight, we're gonna come back and clip this. If they don't, or they get swept, we're gonna forget about it.
Mackie, is it? So you're just more banking on the inefficiencies of the Jets, though, because what's it going to take for the Blues to win, though? Really,
A bounce or 2. I mean, the shots are even. They're playing even hockey.
who's
I
going
don't
to
think-
step up?
I
besides
don't
Benner?
think you
It's
need
the playoffs. It's the NHL
specific
playoffs.
guy.
It's the only
Yeah.
guy that you don't expect to step up that does.
No, I
Like,
know,
they
but
could
I
get
just-
one huge OT winner from a 4th, 3rd liner in Game 3, and we have a whole
But
new
you have
series.
to be able to. You have to be able to set yourself up for that opportunity by capitalizing on power plays, making stuff happen. I don't think they have enough guys to do that regularly.
Their
Meanwhile,
power play is so bad in Game 2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Jets, dude, every time they go on the power play, like they're probably going to put one in right here, and they usually do. It's just like those star-studded teams. I just don't think they can hang with them. They don't have the dogs in the fight, similar to a lot of those basketball series we talked about.
Alrighty, let's jump into this last NHL playoff series here. Hurricanes and Devils. Carolina's leading the series here 2-0 game on Friday. Hurricanes are the favorite, -165 in that matchup. Devils at +140. What are you guys thinking about this series heading into Game 3?
Yeah, you
I
wanna
do
talk
not have
about
much to
clubs.
say about this series. This is a 4-0 sweep.
But the only thing is, how nasty are the Hurricanes at home and then terrible on the road in the playoffs? last few
Yeah,
years.
I think they're gonna
Devils are
struggle a
dead
little
with
more.
no Hughes. Obviously,
4-1.
now his younger brother's out. I don't see the Devils winning a game this series.
4-1, maybe 4-0. No way it goes 6.
Prudential Center is nothing to write home about either. It's not like they got a big home ice
Yeah,
event.
it's not
But
like you're getting that.
this team was already shot when Hughes lost. You know what though? Even if Jack Hughes was in the mix, I know they don't have any scoring potential right now. That's what's been killing them. And Markstrom's been playing pretty well. I don't think Jake Markstrom's that good. At his best, he's the 10th best goal in the league. But at his regular, he's between 14 and 17. They paid him a bunch of money, and they act like they brought in, I was going to say Tuukka Rask, but I don't know. They act like they brought in Henrik Lundqvist, right? They're acting like they have their savior. Jacob Markstrom, he's good. He's not great, though. Freddie Anderson is doing just as good, if not better. But this Canes team, loaded from top to bottom, on your third line, it still perplexes me. Jordan Stahlhoff, you remember him from your good old days. I mean, that guy's playing third line, fourth line minutes for you. And he's a matchup nightmare. Face-off guru. I mean, the fact that you have him, Taylor Hall, in your bottom units. They got Stankoven. I think that was a great return. And then look at the point. They got Brent Burns, Slavin, and Dmitry Orlov. Oh, and Shane Gostisbehere. Remember when he was shipped out of Philadelphia with assets and money just to get him off the roster? Yeah, that guy's pretty good on the power
Didn't
play.
they send him
found
to
out.
Arizona? Wasn't he a Coyote for a
Yeah,
little bit?
you're like, we'll give you Gostisbehere, we'll give you a fourth, a seventh, and some money just so we don't have to eat the rest of his contract.
I was gonna say they just kind of overpaid him for the production he was giving them.
Yeah,
But
and then
Flyers are a cursed franchise. They suck.
yeah, and been known, but it's just crazy how the Canes can accumulate all these pieces year in and year out. And Brent Burns, ultimate playoff player. I mean, great PK guy, great in your face guy. They're just too good, too big, too skilled. And what's his name's jumping on the scene? Seth Jarvis alongside Aho and Svechnikov and whatnot. I like the pickups they made at the deadline too. They were more. I know the Stankoven and Rantanen trade was talked about, but they brought in a couple of good pieces. Martinuk looked good. Who's the guy that's been putting in all those goals ever since he came over? I can't think of his name right now. But the Canes made a lot of great moves at that deadline. That team set up for success. Brendan Moore, great coach too. We'll ride it till the wheels fall off, and that's in the Eastern Conference Finals. But until then, they're going to be lights out.
I agree. I think it's a sweep.
-1.5. You can look at every game when they're in Carolina.
Alrighty. Lots of good stuff there out of the NHL playoffs. Like I said, make sure you check out our live streams every weekend, highlighting those matchups over the weekend. We got 1 point of news here in the NHL. The New York Rangers fired head coach Peter Laviolette on Saturday, ending his tenure after 2 seasons in a massive underachievement by missing the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. General manager Chris Drury announced his firing less than 48 hours after the Rangers season ending. What are your thoughts on the Rangers moving on from him after just 2 seasons? Another point here. First time in NHL history, the Penguins, Rangers, and Bruins haven't made the playoffs in the same year.
All right. I don't need to say
Wild
that
stat.
anymore.
But what are you guys thinking here about this Rangers news?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Are you
obviously
happy, Mackie?
it was what?
Are you happy?
There's no way to not be happy about this. I liked Laviolette. I think he did a great job in his first year. I think he did not do one thing right the entire year this year. I think there was a lot of turmoil in the locker room as well. He said he wasn't even going into the locker room after games to like talk it over with the team. There's no connection there. With all the star power this year to not even make the playoffs is pretty ridiculous. But you got to move on after something like this. Everyone knew that he was gone. They were just waiting for the season to end. But it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in here. I mean, the team is just so good. For them to play the way that they did with all the star power that they had is just, you got to let go of your coach after that one.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a lot of other teams throughout the league that dropped their coaches. I believe the Kraken did too. But it's just not to beat a dead horse, Mac, but it's so crazy to me. Like, I was in on these Rangers all year. I was buying the dip when they were huge favorites to win the cup, make the playoffs and whatnot. A team that's so loaded from top to bottom with one of the best goaltenders in the
Top
league.
2 goalie in the league.
How the hell do you drop that far down? It's obviously the coaching change is the biggest piece, but maybe they got to look some of their leaders in the eyes, look at a few other pieces. That guy, Adam Fox, how far he has fallen, in my opinion, at least. But they got to figure it out because they don't want to waste the prime of a lot of these good players they got.
Yeah, it's a big year on contract years as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
What'd you give up for JT?
Not much.
Kakko?
Give up a first?
No, Kako went to
That was last year. That was the year
defenseman
before.
in a
no,
first?
it wasn't. It was this year. It's
Was it
just
this year?
not the same trade.
That was way before the trade deadline, though.
The fuck
Hoff.
did we
That
give
was
up
like,
for...
I think they might give up a first and a defenseman.
Hedl. Heedle and a draft pick.
Yeah. So, I mean, Miller's worth it. He's still sticking around for a while, right, with his buddy
Yeah,
Vinny?
yeah. He wants to be in New York, I think. I love JT Miller. I think that was the best acquisition we could have gotten. It's just everything
Just
around
a
it just
down
didn't
year.
work
Just a
out.
down year.
Yeah. Just where it wasn't happening this year.
Yeah. On to the next.
Alrighty. Lots of good stuff out of the NHL there. Let's jump over to the NFL here. The 2025 NFL Draft will be conducted in Green Bay, Wisconsin from Thursday, April 24th through Saturday, April 26th. What are your guys' top predictions coming to this year's draft, or in anyone specific you're looking for your team to target here? Round 1 starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. What are you guys thinking is going to happen, and what do you want? Who do you want your teams to target?
Sam
Hey,
Ward,
start
first
with you.
of
You're
all, right?
fourth. You're the fourth pick. Who do you want the Patriots to get?
Dude, I mean, it's whoever falls to us, right? I mean, I really want it to be Travis Hunter so badly.
It ain't
Like,
happening.
so badly. You know, and like a few months ago, it looked like he was a lock to go to us. Now he keeps moving up. I would not be mad if we got our own Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter to come to New England. I would be very happy about that too. So if we can get either of those two guys, I'd be stoked. If we traded down, I wouldn't even be mad either. Because if we're trading down, it means we're getting a boatload of stuff. So I'd be happy with that too. Because if it's not Abdul Carter and it's not Travis Hunter, I don't think picking at 4 or 10 or even 30 is much different. I know we can get a top lineman in that pick and fill the void that we truly need and get more assets to build around the team that we did a great job in the offseason with. But I just really want it to be Hunter or Abdul Carter. Like, please let one of them slip to us. Please, someone reach on these quarterbacks.
There's like a 0.5% chance that one of those guys is available at 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a quarterback at one. Like, the Titans are taking Cam Ward, right?
Yeah, but then it's going Giants and Browns are just going to go best available.
Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Unless somebody wants to trade up and get somebody else.
I don't know.
If it's not them two though, you know who my out of the ballpark like pick is Ashton Genty at 4. I mean, he's an immediate playmaker. We haven't had a receiving running back, like true stud running back in so long. A do-it-all guy, and he would spark life into an offense and alleviate so much pressure from your future franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to alleviate pressure if you guys still don't have an offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got a bunch of picks in the first 3 rounds. I think we have
the offensive line makes the running back. You don't just go draft
I agree.
the shiny toy 4th overall. I think the Patriots need Will Campbell or, like you said,
Jameer Gibbs though. Look at Jameer Gibbs though. I mean, the last few running backs who have been picked that highly have been great. Jameer Gibbs, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, but that Lions team has Penei Sewell, 5th overall.
What about Bijan though?
Or however you say his name at the center. That offensive line is loaded.
Bijan though, he went early on. He was a stud. It's
another decent offensive line down there.
It got better this year, but right away it wasn't.
No, yeah, you're right.
But we have 5 picks in the top 100. So I know we can build. You can still get great linemen at the end of the first round, second round, trade up, third round, whatever it be.
But also, you guys can take Amari and Hampton in the second round.
I'd rather it be Ashton Genty than Torrey McMillan, though, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think there's no shot you guys take McMillan.
Yeah, at 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Abdul Carter and Hunter are gone. I think the Patriots just honestly play the field. Like they see how
they're saying
goes.
Genty is almost a lock now to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? I mean, ETN, how the mighty have fallen. Maybe he was just riding Trevor Lawrence.
Like, I think he's a decent piece. Like, they're better off, in my opinion, going with either Mason Graham or Ted McMillan. Trevor Lawrence was so good at Clemson with all these big receivers. He had T. Higgins. I want to say it was not John Ross. There was another Ross.
They get Kirk back this year, don't they?
Huh?
They get Christian Kirk back alongside Brian Thomas this year.
Yeah, true. That's the other thing is obviously, but like they said is the stat that, or the point that I heard that kind of made sense is obviously Trevor Lawrence was very good with all these big, lengthy receivers. His entire time in Jacksonville, he's had guys like you just said, Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas obviously had a breakout rookie year. He looks like he's going to be absolutely unreal. I think maybe go get your guy a true, I'm going to say a true 1, but Brian Thomas I think is the one down there.
That guy's insane.
If they have Thomas and McMillan, you have your receiver set for the next 4 years. You already have your quarterback.
The highest paid QB.
Yeah,
one of them.
I don't know. I still think Trevor Lawrence can, get the job done. I think that Jacksonville team has a lot of holes. I'm not saying drafting a receiver first round is going to patch that. I think their better fit would be Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. But it's almost all said but done. They're saying that Genty's a Jaguar.
Yeah, and then like I said, though, I think if you guys are me, you agree with this take. If you're the Patriots, keep all your options open. It depends on what falls to you. And if you have a trade on the table, explore that. If not, just take best available. You do that every time. It's not going to hurt you. But speaking of your teams, Huff, you've been saying in the chat, we're trying to speak it into existence. I'm a big Shedeur Sanders fan. There's been so much hate going around about him lately, as expected with the amount he's been in the
For a
media the
team
last few
picking
years.
21 overall, keep the down play, keep talking him down.
How much
I
more
love
do
it.
you want? I would take him over Dart any day of the week.
Me too. I think there's way more of an upside, but obviously whoever we get, I think they're almost for sure either going one of those two quarterbacks if one of them's sitting there. The Saints keep saying they're almost all.
I don't think they're going to be there.
The Saints said, I mean, the Steelers they've been talking trading Pickens, getting a second round pick, or what are they going to do? Are they going to use them to move up, give up your second pick next year, or whatever? I think there's a very good chance Shedeur Sanders is a Steeler by the end of tomorrow night. I don't know when it's going to be. I think Steelers might move up to maybe 13, 14.
I think you have to.
Your Cowboys could use a couple of picks. I could see a deal there for the 12th overall pick.
You're not getting Dart or Shedeur where you are right now. I don't think.
No. You got to move into the top 15. If not, they said Carolina possibly is shopping that 8th overall pick. The Saints are now shopping the 9th pick. The Saints are not interested in either of those guys. They said if anything, Kellen Moore is leaning more towards Jackson Dart as a Saint than Shedeur Sanders. Everyone in Pittsburgh is, you want to take a quarterback? We're gonna get. I'm like, what do you want? Aaron Rodgers, which I've made that very clear. I don't want Rodgers. I'd rather get our guy of the future. You have DK Metcalf, Pickens for the time being. Who knows if he's going to be a Steeler after this weekend? I hope so, but I think go quarterback in the first round. You can't be scared of what happened 3-2, whatever years ago it was with Kenny Pickett. You swung and missed on a very bad quarterback draft. They're saying, this isn't the best draft for quarterbacks again. You can't be scared. You're never going to find your guy if you're scared to pick a quarterback.
The Broncos literally did it last year, and they got themselves to the playoffs. Very similar situation. Loaded defense, some options on offense, and then you get a veteran head coach, and then you get.
I just think adding DK Metcalf, you have to get a fucking real quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you did sign him long term though, so maybe that isn't their plan right away. But I would like to see them take a shot on one of them as well.
I would love saying I want Sanders so bad.
And then Mackie, what are you guys doing? Grabbing a receiver?
I have no idea what the hell the Cowboys.
That's what they want to do. I keep.
I think they're going to get McMillan. I think it's a great fit for the Cowboys.
If he falls, I don't think he falls there.
He could fall.
He's not going to go to the Saints. He's not going to go to the Bears at 10. The Bears are obviously almost set on Kelvin Banks, the tackle from Texas. He was obviously a stud all year. Or Mason Graham. There's rumors he could fall to 10.
A lot of defensive pieces early. That cornerback too from Michigan's pretty good.
Yeah, what's his name?
Will Howard? Maybe?
Will Jackson? Maybe no. It's gonna. It'll come to me. Will Johnson? Maybe I can't think of it.
Yeah, whoever it is, he's gonna be a clamp. But we already got our guys in New England, so we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm very set on don't. Yeah, it is Will Johnson. I'm set on. I want Shedeur Sanders. I'll if he's a bust, we'll.
Would you be mad if it was Jackson Dart?
Huh?
You wouldn't be mad if Shedeur went and you got Dart though, right?
No.
You just want to take the chance. Let's take the risk.
Yeah, you have the team that's. I mean, there is holes around this team. They don't have many picks this year. They don't have a second round pick, but fuck it, go for it. Yeah, like you just said, the Broncos did it last year. Why can't you know what I mean?
They hit a home
we were in the playoffs last year, and I love Russ, but Russ and Fields, they never really knew who the guy was. You draft a guy like Shedeur Sanders, and you have Mason Rudolph as his backup, a guy that's been there. Led the Steelers to, wins before. He has a guy that's been in the building, coming back to be a backup. Or, I mean, I hope he's not the starter. I wouldn't be. I mean, if he does, this is a whole different Steeler team next year.
And you're definitely drafting a quarterback next year.
We're talking, picking 7th or 8th overall next year, which is maybe what they need. But
generous, too.
I say take the shot. I say take the shot on Shedeur Sanders. If he's sitting there at 13 overall, 12 overall, I'd be calling the Cowboys left and right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to watch tomorrow.
Mackie, anything on the Cowboys?
Nah, they broke it down pretty well. We'll see who we get.
Alrighty.
I think Cowboys were hoping Genty would fall, but there's a lot of teams trying to jump up.
Yeah, he's too high now.
Hey, you got Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. Much better than what Chad.
I actually think that is. I think those are two pretty good. I think those were two good signings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not, but
no, it did us.
Alrighty, heading over to the MLB here. Starting out with our power rankings. Starting at number 5, San Francisco Giants. Number 4, the New York Yankees. Number 3, the New York Mets. Number 2, the San Diego Padres. And number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. All of our teams coming from just 2 states in our beautiful 50 states.
So the NL West in New York is where baseball's living right now. I mean, those torpedo bats are really shocking those Yankees up the standings, but I'm not sold on their pitching. That's one thing that scares me, but obviously they're probably scared about that too without Garrett Cole. Mets, another big win today.
Seven straight,
that
12 and
under
1
the
at
radar
home.
pitching staff. And this is why people that we have the Mets below the Dodgers and the Padres in the rankings.
No,
Yes,
you have the
numbers
Mets
are-
below the Dodgers and the Padres.
Yeah. And look
Mets
at how
are the
Justin-
number 1 team
Justin,
in
did you just
baseball right
read them?
now.
You just read them. Who was at number 1 for us? Yep, not the Mets.
Yeah, because
And
you
wanna
had
know why
the
though?
Mets at like 5, and we had to even them out.
I didn't even do it to spite you, but it's funny that it worked out that way. But they've been pitching well for the first month of the season. I just got to see sustainable success because the baseball season
It's the
is so
same
long.
thing as last year.
I know, but Megill and Peterson are so new to being. They haven't been full year starters yet. Peterson
Look
was
what
a half
Peterson
year.
did last year.
He was a half year starter. though. He
No,
didn't start the
Peterson's full year. Go look it up.
He didn't start the full
He
year. I
pitched
didn't.
great the
He
entire
started
year.
injured. Yeah, he did, but he started late in the year.
And he came in he came out of the bullpen in the playoffs.
Sanga's back healthy too. I think that's a huge-
Sanga's fully healthy again.
Yeah,
McGill has a
because-
1.1
Yeah,
ERA.
what's
Did I still
McGill?
what was,
Canning.
Mackie, what was the guy
They're
that almost
pitching
had like
out
an
of their
afro?
mind.
Mania?
Sean Manaea's not even back yet.
Yeah.
He's hurt, so that's where
Yeah.
he
We
is.
don't even
I
have
thought you
Francisco
guys didn't have
Alvarez,
him
Jeff
anymore.
McNeil. Our team's not even full yet, and it's just
Yeah.
what
No,
they're
but
doing.
I'm still the only reason I'm going to go with them over here. It's just like look at the rotations for the Padres and the Dodgers.
Who's getting the job done?
They're
Best
all-
ERA
you
in
want to talk
baseball.
about guys that aren't even full healthy yet? Otani,
Why is
Snell,
Otani not fully
Glasnow,
healthy?
Kershaw, Yamamoto, Sasaki.
Why is
May,
you're just
like-
naming off Dodgers players now? How are these guys not fully healthy?
No, I know, but that staff is just fucking nuts. Lights out. I've got the Dodgers ahead of them, and their lineup's a little bit better. You have a great lineup too. Don't get me wrong. And then the Padres. I mean,
Wait
that
till
team's been
Soto
great.
starts hitting too. Oh my god.
That Padres team, though, I mean, Pivetta, I think he's going to have a year like Michael King had last year, coming over from the AL East and getting the pitch in that friendly Padres ballpark in that weather at their age 31 season. Same exact scenario, big strikeout guy. I've been following that big this year, so look for that to happen. But that was nice for you guys to beat the Phillies today. We had that on the card, too. 2 teams that are going to be toe-to-toe all year.
Sweep 3-0.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
7
mean, you didn't see
straight.
Luzardo, though, right? He's been their best pitcher.
We saw Wheeler.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I don't know.
withstood it.
Did we see Luzardo? We might
No,
have
he
seen
hasn't,
him
he
game
hasn't
1.
pitched since earlier in the weekend.
No, he beat Christopher Sanchez yesterday too, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good games, and even today you outlasted Wheeler. All it was one swing of the bat by Brett Beatty, former top prospect.
But like I said, we don't need to put up that many runs when our pitching staff has been this lights out.
Yeah, I know, and I just got to see it continue a little bit more, and I'll buy it. And I'm acknowledging it. And they're starting to beat good teams now too. That sweep over the Phillies definitely helps. But yeah, we'll see as it moves on.
I didn't see who sent the Nationals, but they're up 3-0 on
Yeah,
Ball-
hit a home run. You remember my post from the other day? Dark horse MVP James Wood. Guy's great.
It's 3-1 now, but there was just 3-0.
James Wood's really good, though. I'll tell you
Correct,
that.
Mackie, you are right.
Ugh.
Did Rutschman get that RBI?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Ellie Rushman singles, yes.
Yeah, he
Cool.
did. No, but I mean the rest of that team too. Look at Mitchell Parker, the way he's been pitching. Mackenzie Gore is a true ace. Like he's an ace. He's only
I like him.
26. He shut down the Phillies on opening day. He shut down the Dodgers in LA. He's still putting it all together, but strikeout king. They got a young guy named Cade Cavalli, who's a top round pick, who's in the minors about to come up. They got a good farm system too, and CJ Abrams is probably staying out of the casino, so they'll be good. I like that Nats team. Just another team, a thorn in the side of your Mets, Mackie, in that division. I mean, Braves are going to get a little bit healthier. We saw Strider come back. That was pretty cool to see, but Acuna's just around the corner. Guys like Otani are starting to pitch again, too. That's pretty cool. A lot of big names are going to be coming off the injured list. So,
Tony's bat hasn't really been the hottest either, but I'm sure that'll pick up sooner or later.
Yeah, you know what else, though? He's working on rehabbing his pitching. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Does he even need? If you were him, would you even want to pitch this year?
Dude, he's like one of the best pitchers in the MLB, though, when he's
No,
gone.
I
he's
know,
not.
but
No, he's
like
not.
that, you
No,
just
he's
knew
not.
that entire
No, he's
stat.
not. No, he's not. You're just making that up. He is not one of the best pitchers in the league.
There he is.
He's just
What?
a strikeout pitcher.
But what? Otani?
Dude, his ERA was like a 4 2 years
Name
ago.
your ace. Name
2
your
years
top
ago.
top 5 starting pitchers in the MLB right
No,
now.
I don't think he's top 5, but he'd be an ace on a lot of teams.
I think he's not a bad pitcher. He's definitely a reliable pitcher, but he's not a 1 on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? You're
He's not.
crazy, dude.
He's simply not.
Oh my God, that's nuts. I've never heard anybody say that. But
Mackie, is he in the top 5? Who's your top 5
No,
starting
he's
pitchers
not
right
in the
now?
top 5. Oh my God,
A
right now.
health, including a healthy Ohtani.
Zach Wheeler's really good. I like
Zach
him.
Wheeler is probably number 1. Max Fried's up there.
Blake Snell when he's healthy.
Snell, Yamamoto's
great. Oh, Hunter Green from the Reds is Logan Webb's great. Hunter Green though could
There's
push
just
for
no
the Cy
way
Young
you're
this
putting
year.
him. I wouldn't even put him like top 15.
Oh, he's really good. You haven't seen him pitch in a while.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't pitched in a while. He hasn't pitched in 2 years.
He's one of the best pitchers in the MLB though.
He's not.
He is though. He is in the MLB. Let's see.
It's just the fact that he could do both. Like if he could not hit the
No,
ball, you would look at him like a third option.
You're crazy. That's craziness. That's craziness. That's crazy. He'd be a 1 on a lot of teams. Like I'm telling you, Garrett Crochet from my Red Sox also really good too. He's putting together a good campaign.
I was gonna say no Skeens in there. Just wait till he's not a Pirate. Everyone will
No,
love him.
he's great too. I think he already is one of the best pitchers in the league. But yeah, he's shelved by you guys. Also that guy Michael King's pretty good. A lot of good pitchers. What about Tariq Skubal?
He's got like he's all right. He's got like he's never had like under like a 2.5 though.
Mackie, he's an ace. He pitched for the Los Angeles Angels, but he's literally
that's nothing to do with ERA.
No, but all right. What's his K? How many Ks does he have in his total innings? What's his career ERA?
I said he's a strikeout pitcher.
He started All-Star games as a pitcher, Mackie.
2020, yeah, because he's Shohei Ohtani, and the MLB acts the same way you do.
Too, though he's like lights out.
Well, for those years when he was with the Angels, he was arguably, if not one of the best pitchers in the AL for sure.
Bro, because he's Shohei Ohtani. Like if he didn't
he was like pushing Cy Young levels as a pitcher.
Because he's Shohei Ohtani. His ERA is a 3.14. When is that ever Cy Young eligible?
But what does strikeouts look like?
167 strikeouts, 55 walks.
How many innings pitched? I got it up right here. Let's see.
Innings pitched 132.
Yeah, that's good. So
his year before 2023 was his best year.
His last year with the Angels was definitely his best year pitching.
No, it wasn't. It was the year before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
2.33 ERA, Mackie, with a 15
that's a good year.
How many years did he been with the Dodgers? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah,
second season?
Huff, you're thinking of his second to last year with the Angels. He had 219 strikeouts to 15-9 with a 2.3 ERA. That's disgusting.
That was
15-9 on that roster too was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look at record really. Because 90% of the time, like DeGrom had like a losing record.
But also the eye test. You remember watching him pitch on show days when he'd pitch? Like he would be lights out. He'd go like 7-9.
I just think. Listen, I'm not saying he's not good. I obviously stretched it with like the third best option on a team, 100%.
I'll tell you what.
I
He'd be the ace on the New York Mets.
No, he absolutely wouldn't be an ace in the New York Mets.
Yeah, he would. Okay. Who's the ace over Ohtani
if he's healthy? Senga with a .87 right now.
Like you're 5, buddy. Come on.
Okay, well,
back to my original question: if you're Ohtani, would you even want to pitch this year with that rotation that they already have?
Yeah.
When they get like, I'm not saying he's rushing it. When's the last time he's pitched? 2 years ago? A year ago?
Year and a half.
The way that team is, I don't even think they need him to pitch. They won a World Series last year without him pitching.
He would actually be the third, fourth option on the Dodgers.
Oh, it's so crazy though that you're underrating him this much. It's actually crazy.
I'm not, dude. I just looked up his stats.
No, but if you go look up like anybody's best pitcher rankings, like it's Ohtani's like one of the best pitchers, and like if you watch him pitch, like they're Huff. That's a great point.
I'm surprised you're even able to speak right now with so far down your throat.
No, because I drafted him like one of my mid picks in fantasy just to stash him on the IL. Now I'm starting to think like, well, if I was the Dodgers too, I'd be like, just wait a year.
No, but Huff, fantasy wise, it's going to be tough because they're going to ease him in so much. But the reason that if you want to pitch, if you're Shohei Ohtani from a baseball perspective, is because he is the most dominant pitcher on that team when he's healthy, and he is that good. Like you get him back for the playoffs, it's lights out because then you have Yamamoto behind him, you have Glasnow, you have Snell, Kirsch, Sasaki. Like it's crazy how many great pitchers they have, and he would be an ace on at least 75% of the teams in the MLB.
So in 2023, just saying pitcher stats, The only stat he led in was wins above replacement, and that's also because he hits the ball as
WAR
well.
the most important stat?
Because he plays both sides of the ball. Obviously your WAR is way higher.
Yeah, but I think the WAR might be
No, WAR for
you could-
pitchers it was Cole. WAR above replacement for everything.
But still, I
is
mean,
Ohtani.
the fact that you're saying he's outside the top 15 is nuts. It's nuts.
He is outside top 15.
He's
that.
not pitching right now, so I guess so. But that's
No,
a crazy
even when
It's
he's
crazy take. Crazy
No,
take.
I'm not saying altogether. I'm saying his pitching is outside the top 15. Not altogether.
If not, he's right there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
maybe
crazy.
right
I
around
think he's like a top 8 pitcher when he's healthy in the league. Obviously, we'll see how he looks when he comes back. But a lot of people come back better from these surgeries, which is crazy to me. Garrett Crochet, though, AL Cy Young. Hunter Green, NL Cy Young. Book both of those.
Alrighty. Let's jump into some of these home run leaders currently. Does anybody know who is currently leading it?
This is still what's his name on Oakland?
Oh, Tyler
He's got
Soderstrom.
9.
Tyler Soderstrom.
Yeah, Soderstrom has 9. Cal Rowley has 9 as well. Tommy Edman 8.
As a catcher.
Mike Trout 8. Fernando Tatis
Brent
8.
Rooker's at 7. I know that.
Well, let me go through some of these odds here. They haven't changed too much, really.
Are these to lead the home runs?
Yeah. Judge, it's still plus 100. Ohtani at plus 350. Trout at plus 1,000. Brent Rooker at plus 1,100. Soderman at plus 1,300. Schwarber at 1,400.
Rooker and Soderstrom are
Where's
good
Tatis?
picks. He's
2,000.
Yeah, he's not like a huge home run guy.
He's
He's
got
a tough
8
park to
already.
hit home
Smacking
runs
him.
out of. That's the thing. San Diego, it's tough to hit out of. You look at where the Athletics play, Soderstrom and Rooker are going to continue because they're playing in a minor league stadium.
I don't think their stadium's really that bad. I don't think their dimensions are that bad either when you compared to like Tampa.
It's small. Yeah, Tampa's terrible too. No, both of them are smaller though for sure. Plus, yeah, I mean, I like that A's lineup too. They got Nick Kurtz up too. I'm hyped for this A's team. But yeah, I don't know.
I just think I mean, Judge hasn't hit a home run in 18 days. He's
been hitting crap out of the baseball.
He's batting .424 without hitting home runs.
He was he was 6 inches away from another one today.
Dude, it's just the way he's playing baseball right now.
Alonso's going to keep climbing up there too. Don't count him out.
No, yeah, for sure. Alonso's playing great. He also had a huge RBI today. But I mean, this is the greatest thing we've seen since Bonds with Aaron Judge.
I'll tell you what, though. You know who's going to win the MVP in the NL? The race is between Tatis and Corbin Carroll. James Wood I mentioned earlier, but Tatis and Corbin Carroll are going to have a great
Corbin Carroll's
race.
having a great year as well.
Corbin Carroll's going to be one of the best players in the league for the next 10 years at least.
Alrighty, we just got 1 point here in the golf world. Justin Thomas is back in the winner's circle after taking home the 2025 RBC Heritage in a playoff over Andrew Novak for his first PGA Tour win in 3 years. JT sank a 21-foot putt for birdie to secure the win at Harbor Town Golf Links in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Is this the start of a special season for JT? Huff, what do you think?
I think it could be. Obviously, he's had that kind of monkey on his back the past few years since I mean, this is a guy that's won 2 majors, shown he's can do it did a few years ago. We just saw Rory win the Masters. He was obviously heating up heading into that tournament. I'm not going to say Justin Thomas is going to win a major this year. Definitely good value on him too, though. He's been playing great golf. He's been in the picture in a lot of these tournaments. The putt he hit to win the playoff was absolutely crazy. 21 feet was a little breaker. I thought right off the club thought there was no chance it was going in. It just absolutely curves right to the center of the cup, no question. I was happy to see him get that win. One of the guys I root for hasn't gotten the win in a while, so wanted to highlight that for him.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff. I think that's all we got here this week. Anything else to add?
Oh, let's go. Should be fun to watch the rest of these series unfold.
Yeah, I think that's it. NHL, NBA playoffs, got the plays rolling every night. MLB as well. So stay tuned to Hit the Books. Pod on Instagram, HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter. All of our plays going out there. Tweet it like Ace always says. Tweet us any fantasy questions, anything like that you got going on, betting questions, things like that. We appreciate the listening. Leave us a like, follow, share, subscribe wherever you're at. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.